Greetings, Shelpers. I'm coming at you with another video for more Cult of the Lamb runs. I just got done doing a stream on Tuesday night, and everything kind of just went wrong. I kept losing frames. At first, V802 didn't want to work. Oh my goodness, someone really got sick on the beer. The card didn't work. The capture card didn't have any volume. I hope to God it does now. But we got it fixed, but then everything just kind of went sideways, so it was a little wild time, so I decided not to upload it. So what I'm doing instead is just a small video. So we got Hecat's Throat, also named Sadsy. We got the Eye of Bish, and somebody's gonna either kill someone or hurt someone. You have to actually keep them separate. You know, like they're animals you don't want to mate, so. Oh, are they eyeing each other up for another battle? I hope not. Okay, it must be getting late outside. Or everybody's just, I was gonna say, why is everybody up already? Okay, here we go. But yeah, I was going to at one point. I also did an anchor deep, by the way, just run, but I did not actually get anywhere, so. We're gonna keep this person named what they are. And my first baby was born to the cult, and there's been a lot of stuff going on. Okay. Now this is the good stuff. I'm glad you enjoy alcohol, Bambi, I guess. Okay, let's randomize this person. Alright. I don't know what we're gonna have. They look scared of me, which is acceptable. Yeah, let's do an axolotl. Witness Astaroth. Witness Astaroth do what? Ha ha ha. But yeah, I was almost gonna say something else. Let's get this going with the, I guess, green. I think we have a lot of green. I don't care. We'll just keep them as they are. But yeah, I was at one point going to do a poetry event for like VTubers and their viewers for April, because I've been wanting to do it because I'm a poet, I love poetry, but I have reservations about it, including but not limited to the fact that Dan tried to do a short story one around Halloween, and not only did he not get a lot of people doing it, and he has more viewers than I do, but he had a lot of people confess to using AI, which he did not want to happen. So he said no AI, and people were still using it. So I don't want to allow AI into my stuff either. But the thing is, I don't know how to precisely tell, because the things that say they can track AI really can't. I just thought it would be fun for our community, but I'd have to like be very stringent on what happens, and I don't want somebody winning for whatever reason, because I wouldn't be the only judge. But I wouldn't want people winning just because they used AI over people who tried their hardest without AI. And I just don't know how to get around that. But I had wanted to do something for February, but I don't know if I can. Not without running the risk of AI and the shenanigans that happen there. Listen, if you can't copyright it as your own, and you can't with anything that's AI generative, don't send it to a contest, okay? I mean, I know there's a whole discussion to be had, considering more and more people are, or magazines are actually going and accepting AI generated work. Some places they're like, we'll take it, but you have to label it as such. Some places are like, it's the future. Like, there is a prestigious place called the Atticus Review that is actually going full tilt into the AI nexus. They're just going, okay, this is the future now. Like, this is what we're doing. And it's like, but you're supposed to be, you know, for people. And they're like, we're always going to be for writers. And it's like, you're a magazine. You're technically for readers. And that's what a lot of literary magazines don't get. I know a lot of writers read literary magazines. I know there's a lot of crossover there. But in actuality, you're there for your readers, not your writers. It's like when people write a review of a book or something, and they're like, well, I have to consider the feelings of the person who wrote the book. And while I do agree, don't personally attack them or whatever, except for certain people like Joke Rowling, and she knows what she did, and stuff like that. And even then, don't attack someone's character when you're writing a book review, unless there's something people should know, like Neil Gaiman or whatnot. Very sad about the whole Neil Gaiman being a bucket of absolute human garbage, in my opinion. But that's, in my opinion, allegedly what he is. So, yeah. And J.K. Rowling, Joke Rowling, is a TERF. And there's enough evidence for that, and I believe she's a proud one, so I don't think she would disagree with that. And I think people who are TERFs are pieces of crap, so my personal opinions on the matters at hand. And JK is a billionaire. Gaiman, I think, is a multimillionaire. I don't think they would give a fuck if I said anything, but I'm just saying, when you're doing a review for the most part, no personal attacks. Here we go. This is really cool because this makes your crops all grow at once, but this gives me more fish, and I really need that right now, so let's go. Because we do have the farm plots going day and night, so. But anyway, I digress. Don't attack people personally with your book reviews, but also at the same time, when you are doing, they're for the reader. So when you are doing something for the reader, you don't take into account if a bad review is going to hurt the writer. And trust me, I've had bad reviews, okay? I've had bad reviews. Does it feel good? Hell no. I want everybody to think I am the best poet since Robert Frost, Emily Dickinson, your favorite fucking poet here. I do. I really do. I want everybody to think I hugged the moon. I set the stars ablaze. I did the most of everything. I have the newest insights. But you know what? Nobody probably thinks that. Some people like my work, and I'm grateful for that. I really am. But for the most part, they don't. And the reviews people leave are not for me. Lamb, my temple, says Sadzy. I want temple again. Amora relic. Demon circle, take me. Yep, so Sadzy needs to go like the last time we took the other person, which was Bish. So we're going to do that. I'm just going to make sure everything's planted. Or most things are planted. But yeah. That's kind of how it is. So literary magazines are also for readers. Just readers. Even if the writers are... Okay, hold on. I need to select the right person here. At first I thought I was like, select these people to turn into fertilizer. And I was like, wait, they're not even dead. Yeah, okay. There we go. It's time to go. I think we just did a wonderful sermon. I could be wrong about that. Oh, hold on. I get a God tier now. I should really talk to Keith about life, and somebody else died. I have to take care of that as well. Here has died of old age. Did I really name someone here? Unless I'm misreading that, which I could be. But yeah, they'll get sick if you leave dead bodies around. More is the pity. So yeah, that is what it's for. And I'm sick of people being like, it's not for that. So when the Atticus review says it's for writers, it's for readers. Yeah, you want to treat your writers well, sure, but it's not for them. It's never for them. And I hate that, the way they phrase that. It's frustrating. But I digress. So they're going to go the way of NFTs and generative AI and all sorts of fun stuff, basically. More or less. There might be some nuance, but not that much. And I find that very sad. They've been a reputable zine for a while. I think Sadzy needs her throat now. Like Purified, maybe? So that's what we're going to go run and do. And if I did a contest, I would want no AI, but I have no surefire way to decide how to figure that out. Because a lot of professors use AI, plagiarize things, and I've heard people who haven't used AI have actually put it through one of those like plagiarism or AI checkers, and it comes back as written by AI. I don't know if AI is now doing what a lot of other people want to do and take credit for other people's work or what, but they keep claiming AI is the reason for everything happening. Like, oh, this thing that somebody took 8 years to write, no, that was AI. And it clearly was not. But I can't always tell. Especially if the poem is only like 5 lines. How am I really supposed to tell in 5 lines? Like, it was generated by AI. But I wouldn't want anything in a contest that's copyrighted. And I got out of the publishing game, the editing, publishing, whatever game, before we got to the place where everybody is trying to use AI and say it's their own shit. So I'm not saying using a prompt doesn't mean it's not your own, or I'm not saying that like maybe using AI to like suggest like grammar and punctuation to you is bad. But I'm saying generative AI, like full on generative, like write me a story about 2 crows that live in a mansion by the sea, and the mermaid that lives on the dock below them is having a land dispute. Like, I don't want that. I don't want where you give an idea to a computer and the computer is the one. Like, here's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, well, it's my idea. Ideas are a dime a dozen, okay? I can't tell you how many creative people, even fairly creative people, not even very creative people, have a shitload of ideas running around in their heads. So many ideas, they can't even put them all to paper. So many ideas that aren't even that good, to be honest, but they still have them. So if you're like, well, it's my idea, it's my concept, like, the concept you have, one, is probably not going to be original. Not down to the ground. There are no new stories. But 2, an idea is not worth shit. Not unless you execute it well. Source, trust me. I've seen really bad concepts turn into amazing stories. And I've seen really amazing concepts get nothing but reductive, stereotypical, whatever energy. So it's not the idea, it's not the concept. So when people are like, well, I told the AI what to write, like the concept I wanted, like Shrek in a little prostitute house or whatever, it's like, okay, 1, we don't use that word anymore, but 2, and yes, it was something that, like that. Like they wanted like Captain America working as a male escort or something, I don't even know. But anyway, what I'm saying is ideas are easy and simple, and the execution is the hard part. I could think of 50 stories in the next half an hour just talking to you. And I think this is during the day. Let's try it. And that doesn't mean I have written a story. I had quite a few story ideas for when we did the Halloween story for the podcast. I used one idea. Like the 3rd idea I think I thought of. And 1 I think I forgot entirely, and 1 is written down for a different time. But I didn't use AI at all for anything. And I would rather have somebody have an imperfect story or poem than use AI, because AI cannot, especially with poetry, which is so emotive. I mean, don't go into purple prose or don't go into solipsism. Don't do that, but there has to be emotion. There has to be insight. There has to be memory. Or it's just regurgitation. It's like somebody writing a poem by using their times tables. It's just not, yeah. I hope you know where I'm going. And that's why I'm so hesitant. Because otherwise I was going to have like a couple people like, you know, judge with me, and like there would have been like a prize of like maybe a Steam gift card or an Amazon gift card or Nintendo credit or, you know, that kind of thing where I can just easily give it to someone without like anybody disclosing who they are or whatever, because, you know, it's the internet. But I can't do it in good faith without other people ruining it. And if I can't tell and somebody isn't going to be honest, I thought about having an AI division. A lot of like magazines now, especially like speculative, like horror, fantasy, sci-fi, they know they can't really fight the moonlight. as it were. So what they're doing is they're like, we will consider this for its own section, but it will be clearly labeled as such. And it's because they know that people, if they can't send in AI written work, they're just going to lie about it. So I thought about having a whole like separate category where it was like maybe half the price and it was like AI. You know, yes, you can write a poem with AI, but these are the constraints. You have to clearly mark it. But if I can't tell, who's to say they won't just, try for the bigger prize with, yeah, it's complicated. And I'm not an expert in that. And there have been articles written about studies that say that on average, people like poetry written better by an AI than an actual human. Now, I don't know how real that is, but we can talk about the probable correlation between AI and what Instagram did to accessible poetry in the 2010s. I think that would be an actually very interesting topic of discussion. If that is true, if that's really what scientists or linguists or whoever is doing the studies are finding, that would be an amazing thing to consider, is like how those poems that the AI are writing are tied into poems by like Atticus and Rupi Kaur and Amanda Lovelace, Lace, or whatever. It would be very interesting to see if that kind of, let's say, accessible, but also Rupi Kaur kind of plagiarized, let's say, at least allegedly, let's say. And I don't mean it got inspired by, I mean full on plagiarized, but allegedly. But let's take those types of poems and see how they stack up. Like, are the people who cut their teeth on those types of poems, on Insta poetry, are they the type of people that are being targeted by these studies? Does it not matter if it was Instagram poetry? Is Instagram poetry not to blame at all? Are there ways like the AI puts it together that humans don't normally? I don't think so. Could I be wrong about that? Sure. Maybe a computer makes a connection, but since it's taking from things that have already been done, you wouldn't think it's actually making new connections. You think it would be just cribbing the old ones, so to speak. Maybe I used that word entirely wrong. If so, I apologize. I am, in fact, not a young'un. I'm an old'un. I grew up with Tubular and Radical, and it's hip to be a square and all sorts of stuff. So, but yeah, it's a lot. And I wish that there would have been something different that I could have done. But it is what it is, as they say. I wanted to bring something new. I've always wanted to bring something new to the VTuber space, and I don't think I accomplished that. I talked a little bit about it on my stream, but I do feel like Toluca kind of has an expiration date. Like, I have an expiration date doing this. I've talked about it like a couple times on and off. I'm going into my 3rd anniversary in March, mid-March. I think March 13th. And I do feel like there is an expiration date on VTubing for me. I don't want to do it forever if it's not going to get me close to what I wanted. But I don't want to leave like in haste or in my feelings about it. Like when I get sad that like I'll never have the audience I wanted or whatever. And the audience I wanted is actually literally only like 10 people to play games and watch movies and talk to and get to know and all that. So like a friend group. We all know what I wanted when I started this, Shelpers, but yeah, I don't want to do it in haste. I am going to reevaluate probably at my 5th year anniversary mark, and this is only year 3 coming up, so I have a while. Maybe I'll get closer to what I wanted by then. Maybe it won't matter to me by then. Maybe my content will be different. Maybe I will actually become a humanoid, because I've talked to more people than just one that have started off as a critter like me and not as, say, an anime girl or whatever. And it's harder. Psychologically, there's a removal between like being a critter and people like finding you relatable. So, I mean, not that I'm a very relatable person to like people in their 20s when I'm almost 40 and I live the life of a geriatric, but it doesn't help. So, and maybe some people find that cool. Like, oh my god, it's the person who can talk for hours about literally everything and anything. Isn't that amazing that all her blabbering is somewhat cohesive and maybe mildly at points entertaining, but it's still not psychologically similar to people? I don't know. I mean, there is a basis behind it. I'm not just pulling it out of my rear. However, I don't know how much that matters to people or if they know it consciously, if it does. Like, maybe it does, like, affect who they watch and how they watch them, but they can't articulate why. Or maybe it's a phenomenon they don't feel like they fall under, but they actually do. That happens to a lot of people. For instance, some of you out there probably know somebody who has the Dunning-Kruger effect, where they think they are masterful in language or art or anything, and here they are just really exceptionally lacking in the areas of knowledge they claim to be beyond proficient in. Now me, I always think I'm a mediocre poet and whatnot, even though I have a book published. I believe I'm mediocre. And it doesn't help that they say all the time, like, you're only as good as your next book. Well, spoiler alert, I don't know if I am having a next book because the one I keep trying to publish keeps flying away from me. And that's a different thing for another day, but yeah. I've explained some of that that's been happening with my next manuscript. And the thing is, with my next manuscript too, it's sad in a way because it's becoming more mainstream. Like, we lost one of the premier voices in speculative poetry, which is the horror sci-fi fantasy. His name was Bruce Boston, and he was married to Marge Simon. And they both are very much in the spec sphere. And because of what they did and like destigmatizing, like wanting to write about vampires and witches and demons and, you know, all that kind of fun stuff. And spaceships. Can't forget the spaceships. They left it open for people to do more stuff. And the Horror Writers Association is actually like taking it more seriously, like horror poetry and like what that does. And it's just more and more people are starting to dig it and, you know, wanting to read it, and it's awesome. But okay, hold on, I should go back and see if I can get the fervor, unless there is no fervor back there, but I thought there was. It would be nice to at least try to heal up what I have before we go on to the boss, unless this isn't the boss, but I have a feeling it is. So let's go back and break the statue, unless I already broke it. Watch, I'm gonna find out I broke it already, and I'm gonna be like, son of a bitch, because I will have cheated myself. Okay, no, I didn't. No portal, let us walk. Yeah, I just needed the, Oh, I can get 6 fervor now. Thank you, okay. I just needed the fervor, Sadsy. We're not leaving, no worries. We're just gonna tiptoe through the tulips. By the way, I hear tell that Popeye and Tiptoe Through the Tulips are both in the public domain this year. I might be incorrect about one of those, but I thought they were both in there. So I expect like Popeye horror vids with like Tiptoe Through the Tulips like playing very distortedly from someone's YouTube channel at some point. I don't know which one of y'all is going to get on that, but I know one of you is going to. Oh yeah, I don't have to fight a boss. I went back for nothing. Sadsy is just going to reminisce about her time hurting people. Let's hear from Sadsy. I miss. Will you lamb? Will you let me, my relic? Yes. How can she talk without any throat at all? Must be telekinesis or something. Telepathy, not telekinesis. That's moving objects. Only visit where I once ruled. To only borrow power I once commanded. Sounds like going home to your childhood farmhouse or whatever. We were all happy once. Surprised lamb, monsters like us. You might see our misery as justice, fool. There is no justice in this world. Edgy little Sadsy. No matter how loudly you demand, urge, beg. Ooh, begging me now. Sadsy, please. Let us leave, Anura. It is no longer mine. Or Anura is no longer mine. Nope, it's not. It's mine. All is mine. All is calm. All... just like break out into like Christmas carols and taunt her. That would be just amazing. I was gonna say all is mine, but I couldn't keep a straight voice or face on that one. But yeah, gotta get those mushrooms of a certain thing. Yep, there we go. Let's take your throat back and leave through the portal. When we get home, we'll save the game. Yep. And continue. All right. That's about where I'm going to leave it for this video. Videos are shorter than streams because my uploading is a lot slower than my downloading, and it takes a lot more out of our computer or our internet for this than putting up a stream from Twitch. So I hope everyone has a lovely week. Please stay safe, especially if you're in California by the fires. Just watch yourself, stay hydrated. Remember, anything you have can be replaced as far as, you know, your video games, your whatever, but people can't be replaced. Losing your photos and memories are sad, but you can make new ones if you're alive. So please remember, take care of yourself and just get through this, okay? All right, everybody. See you Friday. Bye.